with what you can tell us about a part after Port.
Yeah, I can tell you nothing, Paddy. All we know is we're playing Port on Saturday night, which is not a bad thing. I mean, it's a fantastic clash, isn't it? Number one team on top of the ladder, we're number three. It's probably the biggest game of the weekend, so we're just putting our mind on that, and whatever happens after that happens. It's been a year like that. We're accustomed to change. The protocols around COVID change every day, and we have to adapt. So it's going to be the same with the draw. I don't envy the AFL. It's been a pretty tough week with everything that's been going on. So it's no wonder that they haven't yet worked out what's going to happen next weekend.
Every one of your guys that we've interviewed have had pretty much the same mindset. I mean, do you have to work hard to maintain that resilience amongst the group?
Not all that hard, to be honest. This group's built resilience over the last 3 or 4 years. You know, we're a team that sort of nobody had much respect for, so we've had to claw our way back to being respected. So that resilience has been building for 3 or 4 years, and this is just another extension of that, I guess, and we talk about it in that way. It's just, you know, hurdles that you have to overcome, and you know, the key to that always is your attitude towards those hurdles. And fortunately, our guys have a really positive approach to everything that happens. You know, we're a club. We don't have a training facility like a lot of the other clubs do. So we over the summer train in 5 or 6 different venues, and you know, our property steward has to fill his bus up and drive around, and you know, we're just accustomed to being flexible, I guess, and in this period of time it feels like it's helped us so far. There's a long way to go.
That's one thing that could be in your side potentially. There's a chance you might be able to stay here and fly in and out of possibly Sydney or
Do you know more about this stuff than we do?
That's just what I'm reading.
Oh no, well if that happens, that happens. I don't know. I've heard a range of different things this week, so I'm not going to really comment until I know what the real outcome is.
As Paddy said, everyone we've interviewed has had that mindset of, you know, we'll do whatever we need to keep the league going. But on some level, is it distracting in any way?
No, not really, because I think we've got used to it. I reckon early days it was distracting because we couldn't believe how quickly things were changing. Now I've sort of got our heads around that, so I feel like we've adapted somewhat.
On Port last year, they tried really hard to get under your skin. Obviously didn't work. You guys got the victory. Do you expect them to try something different, or would they go down that path and think it might work this time?
Well, I guess there's a range of options open to them. Last year the attention was on Lachie Neale. They might go that way again. You know, I feel really confident that we're more than a one-man team. Our midfield runs pretty deep, so we'll let them decide that, and if they want to do it, so be it. We'll just you know, attack the ball really strongly and try and play our best footy, and we'll need to, because they're in brilliant form, Port Adelaide. You know, in every element of the game they are going well. Like, they're scoring heavily, they're defending extremely well, they're great at stoppages and clearances. They've got a big power forward who's in red hot form. What's their percentage? 200 and something. That's extraordinary after 4 rounds. So it's going to be a really stern test for us tomorrow night. But we're looking forward to it. We, you know, I always think if we want to be the best, we've got to try and beat the best, and they're clearly the best at the moment. So it's a good challenge for us.
It must have been a tough decision with Archie, because he was starting to play some good footy, wasn't he?
Yeah, we're fortunate we've got 3 really good ruckmen at our football club. And look, his form over the last couple of weeks has been really strong, particularly last week. I thought he was good. He's a little bit stiff, but I guess you've got a guy like Steph Martin, who's one of the better ruckmen in the league. He's now fit and available. You know, Archie's just got to, unfortunately, step aside this week to give Steph his chance, and then we'll see how the season unfolds. But it's good to have 3 ruckmen that you know you can rely on.
The skipper wandered by a few moments ago, and he seems quite upbeat.
Yeah, he walked into my office this morning and reckoned he'd be right to go tomorrow, which is a good sign. But I think we'll take the cautionary approach, and he can have a spell, and hopefully he'll be right to go next week, wherever that is.
Is it one of those injuries that can keep recurring? Does he need a little bit of time off in your mind?
Not now, because what happened last week was a slightly different injury. It's a thing called the plantaris, and it basically snapped. And when it snaps, that's a good thing. So it hurts a bit and takes a week to get over, but it comes good pretty quickly. So it's a different sort of injury, and we think that it's probably what's been grumbling away the whole time, and now that's no longer there, you don't need it apparently, so it's a good thing.
Him not being there allows Tom Berry to come back into the side. Him missing out last week, was it purely a numbers thing, or did he need to, as a young bloke, work on something?
No, he was just purely unlucky. The skipper was back available and they play in similar positions and roles, so he had to make way. But he's had 2 really good gains of experience against Freo and West Coast, and we're more than happy to pick him again this week.
Given the type of player he is, loves the pressure area of the game, and that seems to be where he's go. Even though he's only a couple of games into his career, how beneficial can a guy who plays like that be in himself? Oh,
very. When you add him to guys like Charlie Cameron and Link McCarthy and Cam Rayner, who are all really good at applying pressure, it's the combined effect, I reckon. So Dane Zorko has that ability too. So Tom's a great replacement for him in that regard.
Just a quick question about Charlie. Obviously there were rumblings down south last week that maybe his manager's looking at other areas. I know he's contracted next year. Have you sort of dipped your hand into that one, or do you leave that to...
No, I'll let those negotiations go on. There's always rumour and innuendo around contract negotiations. Charlie's a really important part of our footy club. He's very happy here, and I'd be amazed if he didn't continue his career here for a long time.
I was going to say, Chris, from what you were saying just before about what this team's had to go through the past few years, is this season made for like you guys? Like you see, let's say Tigers who are down the bottom and saying they're not going to go here, they're not going to go there. Is this a real chance for you guys to see that?
Oh, I don't know. I hope so. But we've got other tests to come. We've been fortunate. We've been playing at home, so whether we fly in, fly out, or we have to go to hubs, we'll be tested mentally later on. I expect our guys to take it in their stride, but we can't guarantee that.
You mentioned before how well Port are playing, and particularly the way they're scoring. Along with you guys and the Suns, probably playing some of the most attractive footy in the comp right now. Do you see this game as an opportunity to maybe silence those people saying modern footy is boring, or the shorter quarters leading to dour games?
Oh, look, I hope it's a really good game tomorrow night, but we sort of don't go in with that sort of the grander plan of things in our heads. Like, we're just trying to win a game of football, and we'll do whatever we can to win that game. So whether that means to defend harder or attack more, I'm not sure. We just have to roll with the punches tomorrow night. I will say this. I reckon every year this gets debated at some point in time. Now, how's the game going? It's always on the back of maybe someone talking about it the previous week. It's a really good game, AFL football. Every weekend there are some really great games, and there's some more dour sorts of games. I reckon it all sorts itself out in the end, and all those people calling for change, I think change is good as long as it's well thought out and it doesn't happen rapidly. So let's keep talking about it, but in the meantime, enjoy the games that we play each weekend and see the competition for what it is. And it's no different to soccer or any of those other games. Some games are great and some games aren't so great, so that's sport.
Speaking of change, I think from midday today, restrictions relax a little bit more, and there's the potential to have, I think, up to about 20,000 here for this weekend. I think it's 25,000 or 50%, whichever's less, so that's about 20,000. You've always spoken about that crowd being, 23rd man for your team. In a game of this magnitude, that's pretty important. Oh
no, we love it when they come along and they make a lot of noise. There's no doubt about that. I think our fans have sort of jumped on for the ride over the last 12 to 18 months, and that's great to see, and always encourage as many people as we can to turn up and shout for us, because I remember early days, my first year here, we'd go out and play and there'd be 10 or 11,000 people here. So we want to keep our people coming along, and we want to keep entertaining them and giving them value for their money.
On the flip side to that, it feels bizarre that no Victorian teams will be playing in Melbourne for the foreseeable future after this round. It's a strange year, isn't it?
Yes, it's never happened. I guess they'll have to go through a lot of planning and preparation for that. It's tough, but we all knew that anything could happen this year, and it is.